We're going to take you to Ottawa. Housing Minister Sean Fraser is speaking to reporters amid news he plans to step down from cabinet. Let's listen.
Very much. Some of my closest families in recent years have been diagnosed with cancer and survived. They have suffered heart attacks and undergone triple bypass surgeries. While these examples have led to remarkable rebounds, other family members, like many others with whom I was very close, have passed away. The last 5 years may have been difficult, but they have also brought the most incredible joy. I have watched my daughter Molly, who was born under difficult circumstances, grow into the most amazing, intelligent, curious, and interesting 8-year-old that I have ever met. She loves Taylor Swift, learning about ancient civilizations, playing video games, and last week I had the opportunity to watch her welcome hundreds of people to her elementary school's class Christmas concert in what I expect will be the first of many public speaking engagements. We also, a few years ago, welcomed our little boy, Jack Stanford Fraser, into the world. He has become a hilarious, rough and tumble, sweet little guy who loves his mom, monster trucks, showing off his skills on his balance bike to anybody who's going to watch, and roughhousing with his dad. Getting him to put on socks can be hit or miss. I've seen my wife, who is impressive beyond measure and who has borne a disproportionate share of the work in raising our family, not just bring our kids into the world, but also become an incredible and loving mother who would do anything for her children while she still manages to juggle parenting, work, and a PhD to boot. Sarah, you are absolutely incredible, and I love you without end. The past 5 years has had me reflect on what I hope the next 5 years to look like. And I can tell you, more than anything else, I want to spend more time with my kids, and I hope my kids are going to want to spend more time with me. I want meals with Dad to be part of the family's routine as the rule, not just the exception when he's home from Ottawa. I want to be able to make my wife coffee in the morning before she wakes up, and if we get the kids to bed at a reasonable hour, maybe even enjoy a glass of wine over a conversation in the evening. Through the most difficult and joyful personal experiences imaginable, I have become acutely aware of the finite nature of the time that we have with the people that we love. You blink and you miss it. So I'm going to spend a little more time with the people that I care about most. Now I love my job. I'm going to miss it. It's not just the best job I've ever had. It's the best job I can imagine having. It has been the most extraordinary privilege to serve as both the Member of Parliament for the community where I was raised and grew up and the Cabinet Minister for my home province of Nova Scotia. I'm going to miss the work and I'm going to miss the people immensely. The opportunity to help people who make good things happen in your community is incredible. It's like nothing else. The chance to have a positive impact on people's lives, whether at an individual level or on a national scale, is deeply rewarding. I want to say thank you in particular to the Prime Minister for the opportunity to serve. His support for me and for the initiatives that I've worked on over the years has allowed me to have a meaningful impact on my community and the people who call it home. His belief in the work our team was doing has allowed me to move the needle on policies of national importance, particularly those that are directed towards solving the national housing crisis. I want to thank my colleagues who serve in the House of Commons. You are the most interesting group of people I've ever worked with, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to have worked alongside you. To my Nova Scotia and Atlantic Caucus colleagues in particular, past and present, you are so much more than co-workers. You are dear friends that I will keep for a lifetime. Never stop pushing for the betterment of Atlantic Canada, and know that I will only ever be a phone call away. Je voudrais remercier aussi mes collègues francophones.
So I'd like to thank my Francophone colleagues. When I started in politics, I didn't speak a word of French. I'm not perfectly bilingual now, but I will continue to study French. Thank you for the opportunity to take this language and learn it. It's been an extraordinary gift.
And to my constituency. To those who've worked at home in particular, you've helped thousands of people who are our friends and neighbors realize tangible benefits and address their real concerns that impact their quality of life. I'm grateful for your service to Canada. I want to say thank you in particular to Janet MacDonald, who's been with me from the very start and who I first knew as Mrs. MacDonald back when we met when I was a grade 3 student at Frank H. MacDonald Elementary School, when I happened to be the same age that Molly is today. For those who've helped me navigate life on the Hill, I'm amazed by the impact that each of you has had on our country. The scale of the challenges that we've been wrestling together and the problems that we have worked to solve will be something that you should be proud of for a very long time. I know that I am. I will follow your careers closely, and I consider it an extraordinary professional honor to have served my country with you by my side. I want to thank my Chief of Staff, Savannah DeWolf in particular, who's been with me from my first few weeks as an MP and who has held virtually every position at every level in each of my constituency, Hill, campaign, and minister's offices over the last decade. You are as talented a professional as I have ever worked with in my career and are responsible for just about all the things that went well for me politically over the past 10 years. I also want to thank every volunteer who's given their time, donations, and energy to our campaigns over the last few election cycles. Without your engagement, we would not have had the opportunity to win a riding that has historically been viewed as nearly unwinnable for a Liberal candidate. You'll remember that it was our riding that Brian Mulrooney, who became a friend of mine before he passed, came to sit in and happened to be my first MP, no less, when he became opposition leader and needed a safe constituency for a Conservative in his first campaign as a Member of Parliament. While there's insufficient time to properly thank each of you who've made a contribution over the years, I want to express my profound gratitude to the families of Ray Wegg and Hilary Ammett, both of whom have passed away and who made enormous contributions to our organization on the ground. I miss you both and may never have had the chance to serve in Parliament without your effort and encouragement along the way. Politics is a force for good in this country, and public service matters to our collective well-being. The jobs elected officials have the privilege to hold for however long or short a time are so much bigger than any one person who may come to hold them. Those who had the opportunity to serve would do well to remember that the highest office holder in our system of government and politics is not the MP, minister, or even prime minister. It's the citizen that we have been elected to serve. It is the people who live in our communities that give us the authority to govern and to whom we owe a duty to do our very best to make this country a better place to live. The best political education that I've ever received hasn't come from the halls of power on Parliament Hill, but in the church basements, fire halls, wharves, and community centres in small town and rural Nova Scotia. This is where I found the people who know the needs of their families and their communities, and they're willing to share a lifetime of expertise in exchange for nothing more than a willingness to listen. I hope that I've had, in some small way, been able to use the lessons that I've learned from you along the way to have a positive impact on the communities that I've represented. The quality of our governance depends upon good people putting their names forward and our representatives in government engaging meaningfully with the people that they've been elected to serve, not with a view to attract attention to themselves, but instead to understand how the decisions that we make can be improved by considering the perspective of those impacted by them. The people I talk to tell me what their government should focus on. They believe that our government should focus on growing the economy and creating good jobs for working people. They believe that we should be making investments to advance progress on social programs that improve healthcare, housing, and affordability. They believe we need to protect our natural environment and do more to address the pressing threat of climate change. My view is that the Liberal Party is best positioned to advance these important causes, which are of paramount concern in both the short and the long term. So I will remain involved and supportive of the Liberal Party of Canada during the next federal election and for a very long time. But for now, Canada will have another housing minister. Next year, Central Nova will have another member of Parliament. But my kids will never have another dad. Sarah, Molly, and Jack, you mean the world to me. I love you all, and I can't wait to get home for Christmas. Thank you, everyone. I've got a cabinet meeting to get to, at least one last time, but I'm happy to stick around for a few questions.